Alrighty, folks. We're going to have a conversation. It's going to be a long one, probably. Had a wonderful day today. I got to spend it with my brother down in Fuss Hollow. We foraged and foraged and foraged. This is the second day in a week I've gotten to go down there and forage with him. Now, real quick, I want to tell you a little bit about him. He was always my hero. He was wild. He's got red hair too, crystal blue eyes, and was always a tall, big man. My brothers were 6'2" feet tall and 6 feet 2 inches tall, and long arms, long legs. And he used to, when we'd be doing tobacco, he'd jump from the beams to another beam in the barn. Always had sure footing. We've got pictures of him now at this point in his life where he was suspended in a harness from a skyscraper installing HVAC stuff. I don't rightly know. He has always been in construction. He worked almost a decade on the pipeline up in Alaska. He's worked on the oil rigs in Texas. He's done everything. He has trapped and hunted and frog-gigged and skinned rattlesnakes and ate them. Fried them up, ate them. But he's always been of the land. Is the only way I can put it. And back about 30 years ago, before either of us had ever gotten married, he studied herbal medicine and massage therapy, and he tried to sell it. We were talking about that today. Well, 30 years ago, people didn't want to hear about it. It was not an endeavor that anyone wanted to receive any information about at all. And so that fell by the wayside, and he went on about his business, lived his life, and I lived mine. And it was 1997, the year after my divorce, when I had moved back to the family farm where he lives now. And being back there with my little girl, she had some stomach issues. My mother-in-law had had irritable bowel. I had had stomach and bowel issues as a child. My grandmother did. And so she had had some problems, and we had gone to the doctor time and time again, and they wanted to do surgery on her, and I was like, oh, nope, not doing it. So I started out on a path at that time of, that was when I first bought that book, the Nutritional Healing book that I have referred y'all to, and took the cow's milk and dairy completely out of her diet, processed foods completely out of her diet, started making her eat dandelions. My goodness, that child, she did not like them whatsoever. Dandelions and watercress. And she'd call my sister and tell on me and say, Mama made me eat grass. Well, that's that same little girl that's got that herbalist license now. And so I was able to cure my child's stomach and intestinal issues with that. The doctors had talked about irritable bowel, diverticulitis, all these things. A little girl now, just a little girl. And so simply by making those changes on what was put into her body, cured it, fixed it. So I'm still going along the path of trying to learn stuff, but as a single mom and working all the time and different things, I learned what I could and applied it as I could. So then we go along, and my former husband's family is lupus, systemic erythematosa lupus. So she was diagnosed with, and what we do in his family is there's a blood test that is done when the kids are 14, because there's a connection with hormones. And so she tested positive. Her titer level was twice what my ex-husband's ever was. She experienced initially some things like muscle weakness, some hair loss. And for a young woman with beautiful, curly, dark brown with auburn highlights hair, that can be kind of devastating. She suffered from that Raynaud's syndrome, where the fingertips would turn blue and be cold, and she still has problems with her cuticles around her fingers. Well, that's just a little thing compared to, other things that could happen. There's joint aches and pains. She had terrible, painful hormonal issues that came from my mother-in-law's side of the family. She would just vomit and be sick and cramp, and it was painful for her. So we again started applying these things of herbal knowledge, the evening primrose oil and the black cohosh. Those alleviated her distress. Now we know more now. There's even more things. There's dietary changes you can do that alleviate even more. There's certain phytoestrogens. If you are estrogen dominant, you do not want phytoestrogens. There are certain foods that are heavy in progesterones. If you are progesterone dominant, you do not want those. You want an even blend of phytohormones to intake as a woman. Red clover. There's a whole list of things. All you gotta do is Google it. So I've touched on that. So then when I started having the issues with the bacterial pneumonia and couldn't breathe and turned into COPD and normal aging and pain and all kinds of stuff, and every medicine that the doctors gave me did more damage, and then there'd be more pills and more damage, and it took me a total of 3 years to get my body straight. Now I want to touch on something just a minute. One of the, I guess you would say, drawbacks of the plant-based herbal medicines is that it's not like the man-made chemicals. It doesn't work instantly. Sometimes it does, most of the time it doesn't. You have to have a regular intake of these natural herbs for it to aid you. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change. And sometimes that's very hard to do, to change your lifestyle. So, the plants don't give you an instant buzz or an instant fix or instant relief. It is gradual. So we have to understand that and accept that. But the bonus to that is this is long-term permanent effects. Long-term permanent effects that these plants give us. It's freedom. It's an ability to live our lives the way God intended for us to, the way we deserve to be able to. So I hope that y'all have been able to watch that specific Mullen video of 2 years ago when I could barely talk, when my voice was weak, when I was breathy and I'd have to pause and inhale. so that you can see that and compare that to what I am able to do now on these videos, the strength of my voice, my delivery. You can tell my enthusiasm and my strength. You hear those old videos, and I cried. To think how awful my life was at that time, but how I have redeemed myself. And that right there is what I want all of you to do. I want y'all to redeem yourselves, heal yourselves. And that's why I want to inspire you to grow these herbs yourself close to your home. If you have to order fresh herbs from online, there are many Etsy purveyors that I have been looking through. These are people that just have a home-based business, a large farm, and they are foraging, or they are purposefully growing herbs to sell to the public. These are herbal farmers, and we're going to be seeing more and more of that in the coming decades. And so I'm not going to be able to fulfill a lot of being able to assist y'all in that, because y'all kind of seen my yard now with the different videos and stuff. I have a tiny yard. Now, I love to go foraging. Y'all, it is the country girl in me. When I used to go out the back door and Mama just know I wasn't coming back for a while, and I'd just run out in the woods and in the weeds, and I'd have fun, and I'd take little sticks and flowers, and I just make dumb stuff. It didn't make any sense. I would create little forts, or little flower beds, or little flower rings, or things like that. Just odd little fun things that country kids do. And so I will say this today. I was on the side of the road, and it was quite a ways off the road, but I was on top of a giant rock pile in my blue plaid milk barn boots. Y'all might call them something else, but they're the tall rubber boots, but we call milk barn boots here. And my camouflage cap, and my jeans, and my long sleeve men's shirt, standing on top of this pile of rock, picking little yellow flowers off a mullein today. And I saw a couple of people kind of slow down and look, and I thought, well, y'all are just jealous because y'all don't know what I'm doing, and you have no idea how I am freeing myself right now. I got a whole bag full of those mullein blooms, so I'm very happy. And but I climbed on top of a rock pile to do it, and I just felt happy about it. I got to climb on rocks. That was how I always was. I just love to be outside doing stuff. And so I'm lucky in that. And as I get these messages, many of y'all live parallel lives to me, very similar. You're in cities, and you have a little house somewhere in a neighborhood, or something, or you commute back and forth to work, and you see things, and you're learning, and you're starting to spot these things, and it's all starting to become a interwoven web of knowledge for y'all. There's been people subscribed to me since this time last year, and y'all, this time last year I only had 87 subscribers. So all of you who have been joining me on this journey, I see y'all learning too. Your intelligence about these things is growing, but your intuition is growing as well. And your want to do these things yourself is growing. So I want to enable that, like I said, because I can't get a lot out there to y'all. Now, I stopped on the square in Petersburg today, and told the ladies I will be setting up a table on June the 29th for my herbal things and my brother's herbal things, and I'm going to start being the face of both of those things. Now I'm labeling his stuff with his name and my stuff with my name, but he loves being in the holler. He doesn't like coming out, and I don't blame him a bit. I've just kind of gotten a little more used to people than he did, and so I'm going to be doing these things. And today we just walked back, and I told him, I said, look, I'm fluffy. Let's walk today. I need to lose weight. I need to lose about 20 pounds. And y'all have seen me physically now. It doesn't look like I carry a lot of weight, but I am about 20 pounds too heavy. And the reason why I say that is because I learned about 15 years ago that I reach a certain weight level, and then that's when the high blood pressure starts. If I get below that weight level, I don't have to worry about the high blood pressure at all. And that is why I'm saying that. This isn't for beauty or vanity. I actually working in an office handling the FMLA cases. Now when I say that, I was at the front desk, and these people made appointments, and then they would come in and they would sit there and wait to be seen for the FMLA. And I saw people that I loved waste away and then die. People that I'd known my whole life, or I'd gotten to care for and love at work. And the one thing that I noticed, if someone was naturally thin, they went quicker. If someone was a little extra fluffy, it took a while longer. And I watched this. I saw 5 to 10 people a day come in. Some rebounded fine. That little extra weight helped them rebound. The ones that did not rebound, that we lost, they were usually skeletons by the time. And I'm not just talking about cancer. I'm talking about a variety of illnesses. So I think it's good for people as we are getting older to carry a little weight. Also, if we fall, it's less likely that we get broken bones. Once a bone gets broken in certain areas of our body, and I can tell you that hip issues is one of them, that affects our mobility. That is when secondary issues start coming in. Anything from our hips down, if those are broken, and it affects our mobility, our activity level, and the way that we can carry our framework, our bodies, then people start getting secondary illnesses and start becoming feeble. So that's another reason why I certainly do not mind having extra weight on me. Now, I'm got 10 minutes left according to the camera, so I'm going to try to talk faster. So all of these things have meshed together for me to bring me to this point to want to share all this with all of you. And it's working. You folks are growing, you're doing, you're learning, and I want to keep enabling that. Any little bit of knowledge I can share, more than anything, the encouragement. Look, y'all, I'm a poor woman. By national standards of income, I have been poor my whole adult life. And yet, I am able to live more richly than so many people. So that's another reason why I feel like I can encourage y'all. If I can do it, y'all can do it. If you need to order online herbs, and I'm talking about the dried herbs that y'all can then use to make your infusions, your decoctions, your salves, your concentrates, your tinctures. If y'all have to do that, by all means do it. Because this is about us taking care of ourselves and taking charge of our lives. Now, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to post another one. Today is going to be our talking day because I have a lot to share with y'all. Whenever I'm around my family group, I'm so blessed. My family is full of geniuses and when I say geniuses, I mean they test as geniuses, but they are quirky people, country people, that don't like to pursue, I guess what you'd call genius pursuits, if there is any such things. They simply use their knowledge to have better quality lives and for their families as well. So whenever I'm around them, between us all talking at the same time and listening to each other at the same time and sharing ideas and knowledge, I always come away fully fed, all the way up to my cup overflowing, because I have been given input and they have been my sounding board, and we have shared our collective knowledge. So my brother brought out some of his books, his herbal books, and I've got to send him some pictures of the ones I just bought. And so our plan is that he's going to be doing heavy, big foraging. I'm going to learn how to do preparations. Now, he's good with sticking everything in a jar and pouring alcohol on it. So he's going to be my tincture guy. He's always got plenty of alcohol, God bless him. He's got tinctures that are stockpiled. Passion flower, teasel, usnea. He's got them stockpiled and other stuff. I just didn't get in there and rummage around enough. But then I'm going to take those and I'm going to, those I am really only going to be able to sell at the farmer markets and stuff. I may be able to, once I see how this goes, offer those again to you folks, my subscribers. The passion flower, I was very impressed with the tincture. It's a nervine. What that means is it's an anti-anxiety medication, and it does help with sleep. And all he did was take the flowers. That's all he did. Passion vine is all over the farm. I mean, if he could sell the plants, he'd make millions of dollars. But they're everywhere. So when he goes along, all he has to do is take a 5-gallon bucket and just pull them and fill it up. So he made a tincture, and I tried it out. I slept good. I didn't have the anxiety at work where when I start having everything hit me all at once, I freak out, y'all. I'm just going to tell you, I get ill, I get cranky. You stand over there. I will get to you in a minute. Driver, go ahead. Give me your information. Go ahead and proceed. What did you want? Hello, how may I assist you? And I've got to be able to do that quickly. And that makes me anxious. But this week, since I got that tincture on Tuesday, it hasn't made me anxious. I've been able to do it quickly, but not have anxiety and stress about it like I normally do. So I'm excited about that. I am going to try it out a little bit more before I offer it and research it more. I need to read some chemical studies on it and some biology studies on it. And that is my intention, as me and my brother are foraging these plants, and we read folklore or we read books that tell us this is good for this and this is good for that, I'm going to go on and do those same chemical researches that I've been doing with the wild lettuce to then tell me why the plant can act like that, what is the proof that it acts like that, and then I can feel confident in offering that and in teaching others about that. So I'm going to wind up this video, and then I'm going to make another one, and there's going to be more talking. And until my next video, y'all have a great day.